We've all been there, right? Your cat's just staring at you or making some weird noise or maybe doing that thing with its paws.
Hmm.
And you're just thinking, what on earth are you trying to tell me?
Oh, absolutely. If you live with cats, and millions of us do, that question definitely comes up a lot.
Yeah, they have this whole air of mystery about them. People think they're so independent, maybe even a bit aloof.
But the thing is, they're constantly talking to us and to each other. It's just, well,
It's often not with a meow. It's a whole complex language.
And that's exactly what we want to get into today in this deep dive. We've gathered insights from quite a few places, Purina, UK, International Cat Care, even a Reddit thread with some real-life observations.
Plus some solid science, like a study from PMC and info from groups like Alley Cat Allies, Tika, Humane World for Animals, PetMD, VCA Animal Hospitals. Quite the mix.
Right. So our goal here is to sort of decode some of that communication, go beyond the basic meow, look at sounds, body language, scent, which is huge, and even whether they actually learn names.
Yeah, that last one is fascinating.
Okay, so where do we start? If we want to listen better, what's the first step?
Well, sounds are usually what grab our attention first, right? So let's start with vocalizations. We tend to fixate on the meow, but cats actually have a whole repertoire.
And they use different sounds for different audiences. Like one sound for us, another for other cats.
Pretty much, yeah. The sources break it down into roughly 3 types. You've got your murmuring sounds first. Purring is the obvious one.
Right, the happy sound. But it's not always happy, is it? That's what I found interesting.
Exactly. We think contentment, cats snoozing in the sun. But they also purr when they're anxious or greeting you, even when they're sick or hurt. It's kind of a versatile signal.
Huh. And kittens do it really early?
Uh-huh. Almost from birth. Probably to tell mom they're okay while nursing. And she might purr back to reassure them. It's like this early comfort communication.
Cool. And then there are trills, chirps, those little purp noises.
Yeah. Those are usually friendly, like a little hello or hey, look at me. Mother cats use them to call their kittens too. A contact call.
I love those sounds. Okay, so murmuring. Then what's next?
Next up are the meowing sounds, or vowel sounds, as some sources call them. And this is where it gets really specific to us.
Ah, okay, so adult cats don't really meow at each other much in the wild.
Not typically, no. It seems like domestic cats have learned or maybe even evolved to meow primarily at humans. Kittens meow at their mothers, but adults mostly save it for us.
Wow, so they figured out that's how to get our attention. Like they hacked our communication system.
It really seems that way. VCA even calls it their special way to chat with humans, an exclusive conversation starter.
Huh, that's brilliant. And these meows mean different things, obviously.
Definitely. Intensity, duration, it all matters. A quick chirpy meow might just be, hi.
Yeah, like when you walk in the door.
Exactly. But a long, drawn-out, insistent meow, well, that could be, pay attention to me. Or, more likely,
Feed me. Oh, the mealtime opera. I know it well.
we all do. And then there's the let me in or let me out meow at the door, or those weird middle-of-the-night meows that wake you up.
Right. What is that about?
Could be anything, really. But
Sure.
one source, Humane World for Animals, made a really important point about older cats.
Oh.
Yeah, if an older cat suddenly starts meowing a lot more, especially at night, it could potentially be a sign of age-related issues, like cognitive decline, confusion, maybe even failing eyesight causing anxiety.
Oh, well. Okay, so a big change in vocalizing, especially in seniors, needs a vet check.
Definitely worth ruling out any medical causes. Any sudden significant change warrants it.
Good advice. And before we leave sounds, what about that weird chattering noise they make at birds through the window?
Ah, yes, the chirping or chattering. It's often linked to seeing prey they can't get to, maybe frustration, maybe excitement, maybe even mimicking bird calls, or just practicing their hunting sequence in their head.
Cats are weird
Eh.
and wonderful. Okay, so sounds are one piece, but they're silent communication.
Hmm.
Body language, that's a whole other level, isn't
Oh,
it?
it's incredibly rich.
Yeah.
Posture, face, ears, eyes, even piloerection hair standing up.
Yeah.
So much information.
All right, it feels like you need a decoder ring sometimes. Let's start with the tail. Seems super expressive. Upright is good, generally.
Generally, yes. An upright tail, maybe with a little curve at the tip, often signals friendliness, confidence, like a little hello flag.
Okay, but tucked right under.
That's usually fear or anxiety, trying to make themselves smaller, less noticeable.
Makes sense.
Uh-huh.
And that slow side-to-side swish. Not like a happy dog wag.
No, quite different. That slow swish often means frustration, maybe annoyance, or intense focus on something, like they're weighing their options.
Okay. And the bottle brush. Puffed out tail.
Ah, the Halloween cat look. That's usually defensive or aggressive. They're trying to look bigger and scarier.
Right, and thumping it while crouching.
Defensive again, maybe getting ready to bolt or fight.
What about just held up straight, fur flat?
That can be alert, curious, happy, engaged with what's going on, but if the fur is standing up along that upright tail...
Anger or fright. Got it. And lower tucked means insecure.
Exactly. And the speed of the movement matters too. A really fast, thrashing tail, that cat is agitated. The faster it thrashes, the angrier or more upset they probably are.
Okay, and the quiver. Tail straight up, but vibrating.
That's usually excitement. Really happy to see you. Or sometimes it can be linked to spraying, especially in unneutered males or unspayed females.
Context is key. And someone on Reddit mentioned their cat does wag its tail when happy, like a dog. Is that common?
It's less common than in dogs, for sure. But yeah, some cats do show happiness with a bit of a tail wag. It just shows these are general guides, Individuals vary.
True. Okay, moving up. Ears.
Ears are great indicators. Forward usually means alert, interested, happy, relaxed. Pretty straightforward.
But when they go back or sideways, airplane ears.
Yeah, airplane ears, flatten back or sideways, that's usually irritation, anger, or fear. They're not happy.
And swiveling around.
Just listening intently, tuning into different sounds.
Makes sense. Eyes next. Pupils tell a story too, right? Yeah.
They really do. Constricted small pupils can mean aggression, like offensive aggression, but also, interestingly, contentment, like when they're relaxed in bright light.
Huh. So not always aggression?
No, but widely dilated, big pupils, that can be nervousness, fear, defensive aggression, or even playfulness and excitement.
Wow. Okay. So dilated pupils can mean opposite things almost. Fear or fun.
Kind of. That's why you have to look at the ears, the tail, the posture. It's the combination of signals.
Right, the whole picture. Okay, what about blinking? Slow blinks are good, right?
Yes, the slow blink or maybe just relaxed, half-closed eyes. That's often called a cat kiss. It signals trust, comfort, that they feel safe. It's a lovely, non-threatening gesture.
So we should slow blink back.
Absolutely. It's a great way to show them you're friendly and not a threat.
Cool. But a hard stare. Wide eyes, not much blinking.
That's usually more confrontational. Could be aggression, dominance, or intense focus on something they see as a threat.
And if they look away or blink rapidly.
That can mean they feel threatened or uncomfortable with direct eye contact. They're trying to de-escalate.
Fascinating. Okay, overall body posture.
Yeah.
Stretched out but tense and leaning forward.
Could be confidence, getting ready to approach something. Or maybe readying for an attack. Again, context.
Versus pulling in, head low to the ground.
That's more anxious, fearful, trying to be small, inconspicuous. Crouching is often defensive too.
And just lying down, curled up, paws tucked.
Generally relaxed, feeling secure. Which brings us to the belly.
Ah, the social role. Showing the tummy, ultimate trust rate.
Often, yes, it can be a friendly greeting, total relaxation, maybe an invitation to play, but
Here comes the butt.
as someone wisely noted on Reddit, it's sometimes the infamous belly trap.
Look, don't touch.
Exactly. They might trust you enough to show you the vulnerable belly, but touching it might still trigger a defensive reaction. Chest rubs are often a safer bet.
Good tip. Avoid the forbidden fluff trigger. Okay, what about the arch back?
Classic Halloween cat arched back, fur standing on end, piloerection, that's fear or anger, trying to look big and intimidating.
But arched back, fur flat.
That can actually be an invitation like, yes, scratch my back right here, please. They're leaning into the potential touch.
Okay, lying on back, purring, bliss. Lying on back, growling, danger zone.
Precisely. Give that cat some space. And the loof position, paws tucked under.
Usually means safe and content, right? Chilling out.
Generally, yes. But one source mentioned you should still check the rest of the cat. If they're loafing but have wide, nervous eyes or a tightly curled tail, maybe they're actually a bit worried, not totally relaxed.
Good point. It really is about reading all the cues together. What about subtle things like whiskers?
Whiskers are sensitive, fanned out, and pointing forward. Often means alert, curious, maybe a bit tense or investigating something.
It's straight out to the sides.
Usually relaxed, neutral.
And flattened back against the face.
That's often fear, nervousness, or defensiveness. Getting them out of the way, perhaps.
Okay, and other facial expressions.
Yeah.
Like tense jaw, ears out.
Right. Erect ears but rotated slightly outwards. Narrow pupils. That combo can signal frustration. Flat ears with dilated pupils, classic fear response. Forward ears, relaxed face. Usually content.
It's like learning a whole new language.
It really is. And we haven't even touched on, well, touch. Tactile communication.
Ah, like rubbing. Allo rubbing, is that the term?
Yes, allo rubbing. When cats rub their bodies, especially faces and tails against each other, it's about exchanging scents, reinforcing bonds, it's social glue for them.
And when they rub on us, our legs, our hands.
Same idea, really. They're marking us with their scent, claiming us as part of their territory, showing affection and trust. It's a compliment.
Okay, what else counts as touch communication?
Allo grooming, when they groom each other, that's big for bonding. Nose touches, little headbutts, those are greetings.
Yeah, the head bonk. Love that.
And just resting together, curling up, maybe using each other's pillows, intertwining tails, all signs of comfort and connection. Oh, and making biscuits.
Kneading. Yes. Why do they do that?
It's thought to stem from kittenhood. They need their mother's belly to stimulate milk flow. So as adults, it's usually a sign of deep contentment, comfort, feeling safe and happy, like reverting to that secure kitten state.
That's sweet. Okay, so sounds, body language, touch.
Yeah.
What's left? Ah, smell.
Olfactory communication. And for cats, this is huge E. Their sense of smell is incredible, way beyond ours. Plus, they have that special vomeronasal organ, Jacobson's organ, in the roof of their mouth.
Right, for detecting pheromones and other subtle scent cues. It's like a second sense of smell.
Exactly. So scent marking is critical for them. And they do it in various ways, urine and feces, for instance.
Not just waste products then, they're messages.
Absolutely. Spraying urine is a very deliberate territory marker, conveying lots of info, identity, status, reproductive readiness. And leaving feces unburied, especially on boundaries, is also a strong territorial statement.
Okay, so my cat pooping right outside the litter box might be sending a message.
Could be. Or it could be a health issue, or litter box aversion. But deliberate marking exists. More commonly, though, they mark with scent glands on their body.
Where were those glands?
All over, but concentrated on the chin, cheeks, forehead, base of the tail, along the tail. Even their paws.
Paws too.
Yep. So when they rub their face on the furniture or on you, that head bunting, they're depositing pheromones from those facial glands. It marks the area as safe and familiar, reinforces social bonds. It's comforting for them.
And scratching, is that just claw maintenance?
Nope, it's visual and olfactory marking. The scratch marks are a visual sign, I was here, and the glands in their paws leave scent behind too. That's why they often scratch the same prominent objects repeatedly.
Wow. Okay, so much going on with scent. It really is a hidden language, which brings us to language. The study about cats learning names. This blew my mind a bit.
It's really fascinating research. This PMC study looked into whether cats associate specific names with specific individuals, other cats, or even humans.
How did they even test that?
It was pretty clever. They'd play an audio recording of a name being called, and then immediately show the cat a picture on a monitor. Sometimes the picture matched the name, sometimes it didn't.
A mismatch condition.
Exactly. And they measured how long the cat looked at the monitor. The idea is, if the cat expects to see, say, Fluffy, because it heard Fluffy, but then sees a picture of Mittens, that violation of expectation should make it look longer.
That expectancy violation, right?
Yeah.
And did it work?
For household cats, yes. They looked significantly longer when the cat name didn't match the cat face shown. It really suggests they do connect names to specific feline individuals in their house.
Wow. But not the cafe cats.
Interestingly, no. The researchers figured that household cats have more consistent, focused interactions. They hear Fluffy, called when Fluffy is actually being interacted with. In a busy cafe with lots of cats and people, it's probably harder to make those specific links more chaotic.
That makes total sense. They learn by observation in a stable environment. It's like they're eavesdropping.
Kind of, yeah. And they did a similar test with human names and faces.
And did they know our names?
The results were a bit weaker, but cats in larger human families, especially those who lived there longer, did show a tendency to look longer at human name-face mismatches.
So more people means more chances to hear names used consistently. And living there longer gives more learning time.
That seems to be the idea. They might learn our names by watching us interact with each other. Who talks to whom? Third-party observation.
That's incredible. Why do they bother remembering names, though? The study mentioned competition.
Yeah, they speculated it could relate to tracking potential competitors for food, attention, resources, knowing who could be advantageous. Maybe the link to human names is weaker because we aren't direct competitors in the same way.
Interesting thought. But they acknowledged age and time and family were hard to separate.
Right, those factors often go together. But still, the main finding is pretty compelling. Cats seem able to link human words names to specific individuals without us actively training them, much like how little kids pick up language.
It just opens up a whole new perspective on how smart they are and how tuned in they are to our social world.
Absolutely. So the big takeaway from all this really is just how much communication is happening beyond the sounds we usually focus on.
Yeah, it's this incredibly rich mix of vocalizations tailored for different purposes, super nuanced body language from tail tip to ear flick, the vital role of touch, this whole invisible world of scent.
And maybe even understanding our words, our names for each other more than we ever thought.
It really makes you want to just sit and watch your cat more closely, doesn't it? Try to piece together what all those little signals mean in context.
Definitely. Pay attention to the combinations. What are the ears doing when the tail does that? What sound accompanies that posture?
So for everyone listening, think about your own cat. What little communication quirks have you noticed? Does your cat react when you mention another pet's name? Or maybe your partner's name?
It's worth observing. Watch how they interact with others in the house. Look for those patterns, the meows, the tail talk, the ear signals, the rubbing, and see when they happen. Think about where they scratch or rub. Could that be scent marking?
Yeah, and if you're really curious, maybe look up some of that research on feline social cognition. It's a growing field.
Because ultimately, the more we understand their language, even these subtle parts, the better we can understand them, right? And the stronger that bond becomes.
Absolutely. It helps us appreciate just how complex and fascinating these creatures we share our homes with really are. They're not so mysterious, maybe just speaking a language we need to learn.